Hello, everybody. We are going to see the Phoenix web framework. In this video, I'm going to be here for an hour. Or if I got called, if someone needs something from me, like my mother or something, I will be finishing this. Okay, 1 hour, and I I am calling this uh, tutorials instead of docs documentation because back in 20 many years ago I went through this Java tutorials uh, many years ago by Sun Microsystems, and I read all of these sections. I don't remember reading all of these. I remember reading the RMI, but not all of these, of course. And it keeps tutorials. I this thing stick it with me my entire career. So if these are called different docs, which for me the docs were the Java API. Uh, it's okay. I'm seeing this like a tutorial instead. So that's the name of this, and it says with the Phoenix web framework, it's like Django for Python, and you can enter the website Phoenix framework and click on Docs. You arrive here, and it says like you are going to learn a lot of things. If you want to read it as a book, you can click here, and we come back to the installation. This is live and raw, so probably we will hit something, and we are I am willing to we are willing to crash and burn. As someone said in the past, installation in order to build a Phoenix application, you need Erlang. Phoenix recommends Postgres. I have some videos on installing Erlang. I recently installed Erlang again from source code because I don't know. Postgres, I had installed Postgres, but I'm using SQLite in here for convenience because I just want to exercise this thing without having some sort of configuration or usernames or something like that. And please take a look and please, but this is the recommended way to go. You can use prototype using SQLite and then go with Postgres and production. I don't know. It's up to you. You need Elixir installed. I have the latest version installed. Erlang 24. Sorry, so my Spanish came. Erlang 24 or later, and you need Phoenix. Okay, and it says you check the Elixir version. I'm going to open Debian, and I'm going to go to these workshops, and I'm going to create the directory Phoenixland, and oh my god, sorry for the this thing, and cd into change directory to the Phoenixland. Okay, now we are on Phoenixland. Now we check the Elixir version, and we are on the latest version. Well, yesterday this was latest. I don't know if today Elixir 1.19 was released. Once we have Elixir on Erlang, we are ready to install the Phoenix application generator. My website is hosted on GigaElixir. Oh my god! And like uh, the applications in here, they support more languages, but in here, these guys are Elixirs, and they are great, amazing support team. I recommend GigaElixir. So I happen to have this thing installed, Phoenix. But let's play along and follow the instructions, because I recently messed up my installation yesterday. So I don't know what will happen, to be honest. I delete some folders, I have changed some folders. Well, a lot of things got messed up yesterday. So instead I'm going to write mix archive install xph. This is the command to create Phoenix applications. Are you sure you want to install? Look at this 1.7.1, which is here, so we are sure. Yes. I'm just reading this. That's why the name is exercising the tutorial. And you have the ph new command right now. Okay, available. Nothing's got created, but in your home directory, some things happened, and so there are some directories hidden will have these installations. Then you install Postgres. Okay. I have installed Postgres. Postgres is installed in this machine, but I'm not using Postgres today. I have SQLite 3, and we are going to use SQLite. You can bypass Noecto if you're not using if you're not using databases. If you're not going into the databases realm, they recommend to install Postgres. Okay, they say it twice now. Phoenix recommends Postgres, so I have installed Postgres, but I'm not using Postgres today. And they have installation guides. You're not by yourself. Let's click. Look at this. Oh, they are linking to the official website. Then you have iNotify tools for Linux users, which is to have what they call hot reloads. You change your source code, save, and the your web application refresh the changes on the fly. But I'm not installing this either. Okay, maybe another day I will be stopping the server and restarting the server, starting again the server. I'm sorry if I'm going too slow. Right? I'm trying to invite people to just dive into the documentation and read it. At the end of this section, you must have installed Elixir, Hex, Phoenix, and Postgres. Now that we have everything installed, let's create our first Phoenix application and get up and running. And there are two mechanisms to install Phoenix, a new Phoenix application. The Express option supported from SS. and via mix and via mix. Let's check it out. Phoenix Express, the Express option. This is the okay. They are two mechanisms. Probably this is new. The Express option supported on some operating systems and via this command mix phx.new. So let's check this, but I'm not using this, right? We are using this command. Uh, this is new, I suppose. Um, yeah, yeah, a single command without the running. This is the website and the name of your application, and you execute um, the this script, and you got your installation. If your operating system is not supported, don't fret. You can still start your Phoenix application with the command which we are going to use because we are going to pass some, like that we are using SQLite, some flags. All right. You will need to install Erlang, Elixir, and Phoenix. We did it. If you share your application with someone, they will also need to follow the installation guide steps to set it all too. Once you're ready, you can run mix phnew from any directory in order to bootstrap or Phoenix application. It will accept an absolute or related path. If you use hello, let's run the following command. Should we name this thing hello? Yes. Um, yeah, I'm going to click over here, right? I probably should just do this, but I'm going to use SQLite. So our version will be, let's uh, clear the screen and write ph new hello, but we are going to pass some flags, and we are going to use database SQLite 3, and you can use I I don't remember reading about this. You can read about these two. No Hector if you don't want the database stuff, and no mailer. Probably we should use this. Yeah, I'm going to use this because I am not dealing with some email transactions, notifications. But let's keep it simple because it's just an exercise. Um, we will use Tailwind, so this is okay. And we are going to skip this because we are exercising only what is the previous here it is Okay, Phoenix is a web development framework which implements the server-side model view controller. We are using only model view controller right now. There is a section on Live, Phoenix Live, Phoenix Live, which is a technology that deals with requests in a different fashion. So we are not using Live. I mean, for this tutorial, but you probably want to consider using Live if your application needs that solution. Yeah, real time. But we are now right. We are only with model view controller, so no live, no live, and they are linking this. Look at this. You can spend some afternoon reading this. Let's keep it that way. And if we hit an error with this mailer, we'll have a look. When Phoenix generates the directory structure and all the files we will need for our application, promotes Git. Okay, let's hit enter. They are we are going with the defaults. We have modified our command and see if we don't hit an error. We are using hello to, and it says fetch and install dependencies, which is here. There is a command flag to so you can avoid this fetch and install dependencies from. Not big deal, but it's over here. I don't remember. I came here like a while ago. Okay, you pass this install flag, and you get in you bypass the prompt this, so you can uh, avoid this, but it's not big deal. You should put install, and we're good to go. And it's installing. It's compiling the dependencies, but I'm reading here uh, on this part. Fetch. We're almost there. The following steps are missing, so you need to change cd hello. It's everything in here. A mix ecto create with deals with the database. This is a great stuff. Ecto. Start your Phoenix, and you have also this option. What else? They are promoting it, so look at this. Hello was created, and let's clean the screen, clear the screen, and look at this. And now we have git now. I'm going to use code, but to open this file, let's see. It's ignoring great, so that the SQLite DB are not going to be added, which is great. And you can use git init, which we are going to use. And let's do some stuff. We have readme assets, really makes and let's clear this. Git git add. Sorry. Yeah. This is because the git ignore. So let's hit again status. Git ignore was this wasn't added, and the formatter access wasn't added. Let's see what formatter, which is hidden, has. Okay, this Ecto Phoenix. I'm going to add the formatter and git ignore. Fully accept. Again, nothing wrong with git status. Git commit. I'm going to see if this now gets me there. I don't know which. There is no branching. I'm not sure if it was. If it is master. Yes, I remember it. Locally, it's master. It commits because I want to use it that format. That format. Master, the branch, and initial commit, and it's master. You see. Now we okay. Now we are seeing that this thing that I configured some quite a some I don't know some time ago. So this thing it should be below this part because we saw that the prompt. Okay, where is the node of okay? Phoenix promotes the usage of Git as a version control software. Among the generated files, we find a Git node, but at this point, there are no generated file unless you say no here and check the files that are created. So, in my opinion, that no one asked, this section should be in here. Once you have fetched and installed the dependencies, now you're able to see what is new, and the git ignore is present. So if these guys have the source code available, I will say I propose that. Again, not big deal. It should. I mean, this guy, I don't understand. They will say, "Can't you do something else?" But it's okay. Nothing wrong with mentioning. Okay, now we are about to configure the Postgres. database and a password of Postgres. If that isn't the case, please see the Mix task guide to learn more about the Mix Create task. Let's give it a try. Okay, now we are about to follow along this tutorial, which was also present with, which is also here. See the hello, see the hello. But the good thing about this is that they are explaining the stuff. We are in CD hello. Mix, Ecto, create. You can. Let us see if there are some database files present. Leave it, there's assets, config, there's nothing. Now mix, Ecto create, 15 files, and hello repo has been created. Hello DB. Now we have these files, the database files, and you can open these files with SQLite. So let's leave them alone. Create general troubleshooting. Okay, I remember seeing this the first time I did this 2 years ago. Yeah, 2 years ago. But now, since I have done a lot of things, this probably got installed again. And finally, we'll start the Phoenix server. Okay. So we are cleaning this. I'm not sure if you are able to see my screen. Yes. I'm going to PH server. And it says a lot of things. Okay, don't panic. Remember this? iNotify tools is needed to run the file system, to the hot reload. Okay, this is not an error. You can, save your file and restart the system, and you will be probably finding this. But we can install iNotify tools later. There's an error. Okay, this is related to the. And look at this. You don't need to worry. This is an optional feature. And now you can click over here. And we have our web application. Okay. By the way, if you're getting bored and if I am talking too much, this is not a speed run. If this was the case, I would probably say something like a speed Phoenix tutorial speed run. I'm going to try to finish as fast as I can, and I don't care. I will copy pasting but you know why. It's all right if you want to see that. Okay. With Cowboy. In here we're using Bandit. It's Bandit. It chooses Bandit, and in here it chooses Cowboy. And the endpoint, okay. And you can start editing your files. And since we don't have this installed, you will have to stop the server and like if you saw our previous session on Elixir, you know what this means, right? If we choose not to have Phoenix install our dependencies when we generate a new application, congratulations! You now have a working Phoenix application. Control C applies. Now you're ready to explore the world provided by Phoenix. See your community page for books, clinicals, courses, and more. You can alternatively, you can continue reading these guides to have a quick introduction into all parts that make your Phoenix application. If that's the case, you can read the guides in any order to start with the order that explain the Phoenix directory structure. We are going to with the order in here, but they say you can the word you know do what you have to do, and you have books and certificate courses. Okay, which is great. Let's see some of these programming Phoenix like Vue, Phoenix tutorial, real time Phoenix. There is some series, the Pragmatic Programmer, that they do have some Elixir and Phoenix books if you can afford them. And then we have a package glossary. Uh, now you can read this. I'm going to read it, but I think we are reaching the point, or we will reach the point in which you will open an IDE and you will prompt some AI assistant and ask what's the get text folder, what's the get text. You can do it now. What I'm seeing a little uh, different, what's all about with this get text folder? Where I should start writing? Where is the entry point in this Phoenix project? Uh, where shall I put my routes, the path? I think we will hit that scenario soon. But at this point, you might want to read this, you know, and we're going to read it. How Phoenix applications depend on several packages with different purposes. This page is a quick reference of the different packages you might work with. As a Phoenix developer, the main packages are, these are about packages, not folders. Where are the folders? The structure, hey, here, directory structures. So the fancy future stuff was for the directory structure. But still, you can ask the AI tool for these modules. So Ecto, a language integrated query and database wrapper. These talks. Live view, real time, great. Look, specification and convenience for building composable modules. These are modules, remember. Really built in test framework, right? Get it right. Internationalization, localization, swoosh for emails, HTML, oops, okay. Yeah, this thing is very kind of good. Dashboard, real-time performance monitoring, and the directory. Uh, Build assets, config dev sleep, hello x, hello web x, brief. Requirement. This guide expects that you have gone through the introductory guides. Okay. Do we have this? I'm going to stop this. And you got your directory, right? Look at this. Look at this. Oh my god. But here's the thing. Assets. We went with these three. We probably should do some depth to only have the root folders. But here's the thing. Build assets. Where's the other? Okay, you can go through all this. This is like the big time. Test, test. And there are the explanations over here. Okay. Compilation outputs, we have single mix the main interface of application. We use me to compile the code, create databases, run our server, and the S directory must be checked into version. It can be removed at any time. Must not be checked. Okay. Source code from the okay, JavaScript and CSS take good care of these assets. Config directory that has your project configuration. Config access file is the entry point for your configuration. Config access. At the end of the config access, it imports environment specific configuration. It can be found in dev access, test access, production access, runtime. It's the best place to read secrets. Devs all your dependencies, lib, holds your web application source code, and prep, people resources. I'm reading this, I am exercising the tutorial. And then you have your lib hello application mailer repo. This is great, you know, the documentation is great. Name it hello application, that's because the end of the is this is the database is created by the Ecto, the endpoint application. These are in application X. This is the mailer. Lib hello mailer. We are going to coming back to this page because it is important, and I'm not going to memorize all of these just in one pass. All right. We can see how it works for SQLite. Be hello repo X. And as you can see, this B editor, I don't have support for Elixir, but we have installed Visual Studio Code. Okay, adapter SQLite 3. And we are open this with SQLite. Sorry, with Visual Studio Code. And more text. I think this is important. You know, why will I just skimming while the previous part it can be referred to as you need to, but this is important. You really want to read this part. I remember. So take your time in here, which I am going to do. Well, first let us see if this thing opens with Visual Studio Code. That's it. And early, like, let me see, like 50 minutes ago, I opened a project, not a Phoenix project, Elixir project created with Mix here in Visual Studio Code. And there were no errors in here because I have installed the Elixir extension. This one, Elixir LS. Uh, so yesterday there was some errors that it ended everything being we uninstalled Elixir and installed Erlang, and now everything is working all of a sudden. So I am today I was kind of surprised. Okay, your thing is here's your here's your okay, for people wondering about Elixir development, you just open Visual Studio Code, go to the extension section, look at this, and find the Elixir LS. Probably there are others, I don't know. Mm, uh, there are other that is also popular. I click install and everything uh, it works out of the box. I didn't do any configuration. I didn't modify this, right? And you have to recall we didn't select live view, but we are seeing things using live view. Okay, probably internal stuff. What else? Hello X. Context are also responsible for managing your data regardless if it comes from the database and external the others. And you got your parameters in here, tests, where the we haven't created any new controller. Yeah, this is Visual Studio Code that adds these beautiful colors. Let's go back to our tutorial, which we are about to just 20 more minutes and we are done, which is great for today, and come back any other day. But um, I don't know how I can I make this less boring for you because I'm doing this for me. I am sharing it at the same time to try to um, internalize probably a little bit better information while I am trying to understand for a second time. So I'm going to read this because if you want to see some how did they call it, some competitive programming or some speed runs or some other stuff, probably you will be seeing me. You will be just. I will just read it. I need to understand this again because I want to, and probably there will be little code, little changes, some typing, but it's most about understanding the mechanics of the Phoenix web framework If I came up with a model while trying to understand this, I will draw it on the screen, some requests from the client to the server or something like that, and share it with you while I am trying to understand this stuff. But if you want to solve some exercises with Elixir or see an actual application being written, I will do that in the near future because I want to write an application using Phoenix. But at least I need to go very quick, at least 2 or 3 days, and then start writing my application. But this is important. I am not skimming this. The goal of this guide is to talk about Phoenix request lifecycle. I know you know how to read, so but I don't want to be silent. Silent, just staring at the screen. What's then why will I have made a live session? So I'm going to read. Probably this video will be called "Reading the Phoenix Tutorial for You," so you can get to sleep. This guide will take a practical approach where we will learn by doing. We will add 2 new pages to our Phoenix projects. The Phoenix project and comment on how the pieces fit together along the way. Let's get on with our first new Phoenix page. Okay, so the action starts very quickly. Adding a new page. So yeah, adding a new page. When your browser accesses localhost, okay. When your browser is on computer, beautiful computer, it's amazing the brain. I say this is a computer and you accept the fact that it's a computer. It sends an HTTP request to whatever service is running on that address. Localhost, okay. Where is this thing? Here's your localhost running. Beautiful running away. In this case, our Phoenix application, yeah, the HTTP request is made of a bird and a path. This is your browser, and it sends. They are communicating, verb and a past. The HTTP request is made of a verb and a past. And look at this, we have the verb get, and probably you know all of this because you are into this. But in the remote case, you don't know what this is all about. You can look for HTTP verbs and you will find it. And you probably also want to take a look at the structure of a path. Okay. And the following browser request translates into, if it is to the local host, the root, they say, this is the path. If it goes to the hello, slash hello, nothing new. There are other HTTP verbs, post verb. Web applications typically handle requests by mapping each verb path pair into a specific part of your application. Verb Sorry for this. Probably you are saying, oh my god, this guy is just insufferable. But you will end loving this. Believe me. Probably parenthesis. This is a pair, verb path, in the specific part of your application. By mapping each verb into a specific part of your application. Here is your application. The Phoenix web application. Oh my god. And the router. There is one thing called router. Router. Match the pair, the verb and the path. Think of this like a function. This is the input, and it will give you a specific part of your web application which can have several features you are offering to your customers so they can be happy and be more efficient with their tasks and have more spare time in their lives. Lots of features. But the router is mapping the verb and the path with specific parts of your web application. Look at this. Now it is selecting this one. Okay. For example, we might map articles to a portion of our application that shows all articles. Therefore, for a new page or first task is to add a new route. A new route. The router maps unique HTTP verb path pairs. Like this to controller action pairs. We need to put this in here. Okay. Unique HTTP verb path pairs. Now we're using parentheses because of the tuple. Even in Elixir, they are with these braces. Let's use braces just in case the format verb. Remember, this is an HTTP. Sorry for this verb path. Oh my god, this is becoming tedious. Pairs, router to controller action pairs. What I'm doing wrong? Why I'm not changing instead like this, like this? Okay, verb path map by the router. To look at this beautiful curve, beautiful brace. Controller action. Okay, so you get the idea. It's verb path. The router maps these pairs to this pairs. So that's you need to internalize this idea. That's why we need to add a first route in the router, and then we will create the controller and the action. That's all. Okay. Controllers in Phoenix are simply Elixir modules. Actions are functions that are defined within this controller. This is great. Just this is amazing. You know, the mapping per path controller action. What are the actually controllers in Elixir? They are Elixir modules, and the actions are functions within these controllers. And that, I mean, there are some books that making like 10 pages. Phoenix generates a router file for us in new application. Us in a new application. For us in new applications at Lead Hello Web router. This is where we'll be working for this section. The route for our welcome to Phoenix page from the previous component looks like this. We're going to open Lead Hello Web. Where are the routers? Here. And we have get slash page controller home. My god. Get slash page controller home. We are going to see these pipelines and these blocks. These are great. But right now we are focusing on this. This is a route that we are mentioning. They are mentioning. Let's digest what this route is telling us. Visiting, remember this path, this URL, translate this verb path, the pair, and it gets matched by the router to the controller and the action. Page controller action, which is a method, which is a function. We can take a look by ourselves to this. Let's digest what Visual is telling us. Visiting issues an HTTP GET request to the root path. All requests like this will be handled by the home to function. Remember from our Elixir sessions, name arity. In the Hello Web Page Controller module, defining the controllers page controller, and we have a beautiful function which we haven't seen in Elixir in this Elixir series, but you know how I happen to know this. But in the case you're following that series, we will reach this syntax, but this is a function, okay, within this module, and it's called home. It accepts two parameters. The arity is 2, and it renders, okay, but we will see all of this. And the page we are going to build will say hello world from Phoenix. When we point our browser to hello, the first thing we need, you can stop here and see if you can do it by yourself without seeing the code. Okay, because they have explained everything, and now you can say to yourself, let me do this and see if we get to the same result. First thing we need to do is to create the page route for any page. Let's open up a router. Okay. And for now, we'll ignore the pipelines and the use of the scope. here and just focus on adding a route. We will discuss those in the routing guide. Let's add a new route to the router that must get request for hello, the index action of a soon to be created hello web hello controller inside the scope to block of the router. You see, where is it? And here, they're saying you need this route, and you will have a page saying hello from Phoenix, and you are adding this path, which is explained here. Look at this, the URL. And this probably is new, hello controller. I'm not saying it yet. This is the verb. Yeah, soon to be having the hello controller inside the scope. The root. And then at some point they will explain this, which is great. So, oh my god. We hit the end of the hour, which is amazing because I'm going to play the guitar. Um, you can copy and paste this. And let's write this. And on the next session on Monday or Sunday, I'm sure, read this text and this text and continue with this 1 hour a day. Perhaps since I don't want to be that slow because I want to write that the application I have in mind, perhaps I will read some parts on my own and just come on live with some silly things to say, some naiveness. But let's write this get hello controller index in our router. Here it is. If you are confused, where is this thing? The scope of the root path. Did they have a comma over here? No, hello home controller, which is new, so you're not getting anything. And our function probably will say hello. Our index, and they don't have any separator. And as you can see, this is classic coding. Starting to hear more and more about byte coding. I would like to explore that, even when I like this thing. Nothing wrong with me exploring that one Sunday for 2 hours and see if first doing it in this way to really appreciate what byte coding does for us, and ask some AI tool. There was Copilot over here. Here it is, our little friend Copilot, or maybe on others. And see, firsthand, telling the computer at the even without this file being opened will be even greater. The experiment like this, even without the project, we will test several things. Create a Phoenix web application for me. Its name is Hello. And let us see if the AI tool can um, run the ph.new command, and we will say, I'm sorry, you are using Postgres, but I forgot that we will need to use SQLite, so do it again, please. So let's see if the AI tool will remove the folder and create a new one with the right flags and open the project over here. May I just daydreaming or being naive or picky? I don't know. Once and then, if the AI tool can do that, we will help the AI tool. We will write a command and okay, now the application is open. Now create a route for our hello controller with an index function. And the AI tool should be able to know from all this training data available for free and see if we will see if the result is this line of code, which by the way it has an error because home controller is not defined, which is, we know is the case. But let us see. It will be great, to experiment this by coding. Probably I am too ignorant. I am expecting. It's great, but I'd like the most. For the time being, this, and probably 6 months from now, start. As Peter Norvig says, letting go, let the computers learn by themselves. I will really want to embrace the new thinking that Peter Norvig is promoting because he's a great programmer, uh, an accomplished programmer, but perhaps that's why he's letting go and let the computer learn. But since I like how to know how things work, I don't think I'm saying goodbye to programming anytime soon. I will always be looking into this and challenging these new AI tools to with this nonsense of okay, create me a Phoenix application project. Oh, you can't do that. Okay, I will help you. Once the application is created, add a new route to the home controller with an index method and see if the result is this file getting modified with this line of code. I would like to see that, and probably one weekend we will be testing that. We are finishing this live session with this naiveness, ignorant things to say, probably. Probably you are disappointed, but you should know that this is, you have to internalize these things. This is not called writing a Phoenix web application. That's why the title is very clear about that. That would be disappointing, but this is not. This is expected. Okay, and then we can test the AI tool to see, okay, but you didn't write any controller. A lot of testing. But I also want to. I want to know this. It's who I am. All right. Now, happy weekend, and see you hopefully tomorrow in a live creative session with Blender or the guitar or Pro Tools.